Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another session of our weekly guided reflections, where we're going to take about 40 to 45 minutes out of our day, spend some time to just think about our lives and just pose simple, basic questions about ourselves so that we can better understand ourselves and be more precise and deliberate with our actions moving forward. And today, we're at the Field Museum in Chicago. This is my favorite place. I'm so energized to be here and grateful that you're here with me, theoretically. This is great. I love it. So why don't we start with some basic breathing? What we always do, just to kind of start this off. I don't have a timer. We're just gonna go with the flow. Why don't we begin? Just in and out, just breathing like we do as human beings. Just breathing in, breathing out. Nothing to think about. If thoughts do come, just pass them along, set them aside. All right, let's pick up right there. That was nice, wasn't it? It's nice. Just take 1 to 2 minutes every day. Just like close your eyes and breathe. Now we're in public. It's a little different. And I don't have a timer, so we didn't set 5 minutes. Just enough to center us for the activity we're about to do, and that's just answering simple questions about our life. And I'm here in the Field Museum, and I love it. It's my favorite place in Chicago. So our first question is, what's your favorite place? What's your favorite place to go to where you just feel recentered every time you go? Grounded? Somewhere where you go where each time you come away just feeling inspired, positive, relaxed. The Field Museum is that for me. I've come to the Field Museum over the last 15 years, all different times of the week and day and year. Right now we're recording this in the afternoon, on a Tuesday. It's deliberate. You should have seen it here earlier. There's so many kids because of the field trips. It's field trip season, late April, early May. Really, really loud. In the summer, it's crazy. It's so many people are here because you also have tourism. People are out of school. You have families here. I've come here so many times. It's really interesting. And each time is profound because while the museum stays the same, it was just how I left it. I'm a different person each time I come here. So my experience is different and I'm coming at it with a different angle each opportunity I have here. But it provides me with insignificance and interconnectedness, the feelings of those. I feel like I'm just part of the universe and the world, and our time on earth is very, very small. So, make the most of it, live it, appreciate it, be grateful for it. Yeah, interconnectedness. So what's a place like that for you? And I would say of museums as well, of natural history museums, the Field Museum has the best cafe area. What I mean by that is it's out here in the Great Hall. This hall is really great. Also, the Great Hall with the Field Museum here is the best. It's the best of the natural history museums I've been to. American Museum of Natural History in New York. I was in the LA Museum of Natural History recently. Been to the Denver Natural History Museum. Paris. London. London's is interesting. They got a huge whale that floats above like fossils, but Field Museum has the best natural lighting, the Great Hall. But this cafe comes out, whereas the cafes at these other natural history museums, they're all tucked away in a basement. LA had outdoor area. The London one was kind of cool. Sort of this cafeteria area. This high ceilings. And it was built in the late 19th century, so it's pretty cool. But Field Museum has such a place in my heart. I've come to the Field Museum when it's 3 degrees and I'm the only person here. Creates kind of this deeper connection with the artifacts and the exhibits and displays. It's kind of a trek to get here and come here in the snow and the freezing weather. It's very intimate. Those have been some of my fun times. I've rode bikes here in the summer. Man, it's just so great. Cheers. What I was gonna say is the coffee cups here. I have some espresso and the coffee cups have a map of the world. It's always fun when you have a map, right? But what's your favorite place that you go to that just grounds you, recenters you each time you go? What's that special place for you? Yeah, so we're recording this when it's a little lighter. Not as many people around in the late afternoon, so I try to come here on my birthday every year, 2 days after Christmas. Christmas is the only day that the Field Museum is not open. 9 to 5, every day. Got Sue the T-Rex. Yeah. Now, before we advance further in this reflection, why don't we take the time and just write what we're grateful for? What are we grateful for? What are we grateful for? Start with gratitude and patience. Use those as building blocks for whatever journey you're going on, whatever goals, aspirations you have. Start at the beginning with gratitude and patience. Gratitude. What are we grateful for? Last week we were asking what's something under $200 that's been the best investment for you over the past year. And I said, Art Institute of Chicago membership. I think right up there would be this Field Museum membership as well. What's great about this membership with the Field Museum is it's a part of the ASTC passport program. So it's like American Science and Technology something museums. And so a membership here can get you access into natural history and science and technology museums around the country. So when I was in Miami, I went 3 days in a row to the Frost Science Museum in Miami. Every year I've gone to that museum. It's got a great view. It's got a great view. One of my favorite views of the Miami skyline. Up on the rooftop in the sun, and oh, man, it's so great. You see all these palm trees, the water, the ocean. I went 3 days in a row because I was trying to get this particular shot of photos. And then the first day, the sun, I went too late, so the sun was behind the buildings. So the lighting was off. Second day, there were clouds. The clouds got in my way. And the third day, I got the shot. But, you know, it was like $32 in admission. But with my Field Museum membership, I got free every day. So it's $96 right there. There you go. Yeah, I've used it in New York, in Wisconsin, in Colorado, LA. I got into the La Brea the Brea Tar Pit Museum for free, as well as was it the Natural History? Was that part of it? I encourage you to check that out. See if your local science Natural History Museum is part of that passport program. It's ACTS, no. ASTC passport program. This next question. What is the thing that has captivated you and brought you in to learn more about science? For example, dinosaurs for me. Since I was a kid, I've been really interested in dinosaurs and fossils and paleontology. But that initial interest brings me then into learning more about science, learning more about the world and natural history and technology, and it's all sort of interconnected. But what's the one thing that just kind of pulls you in the field of science that gets you more interested? I feel like Jurassic Park in 1993, the movie that came out then, did more for the field of paleontology and natural history and science than anything else. And that's the connection with art and science too, right? Like art can inspire us, and we can use it to advance science and technology, captivate interest, right? Yeah, what's one thing that pulls you in to science? You're always willing to learn. I love the smell here. I just walk in the door. There's these glass doors that open. It's so comforting and calming. It's the smell of death. Everything in here is dead. That smell invigorates me. I know what I'm about to get into. I know I'm about to get a reminder of my interconnectedness with the world and nature, and a reminder I'm going to die like all my friends here that are fossils. So we shouldn't take life so seriously, and we should enjoy it and be present. Enjoy it. So that'll be our next question. What's a smell that brings you right back into something? Like what's a smell in your life, in your experience, that brings back just those intense memories and feelings? Our sense of smell is something we don't really think about much. But when it's there, it's really powerful. It can be the most powerful trigger for our memory. Scent, smell. Yeah, our sense of smell, it's like we can go years without smelling a particular scent. And then we experience it, and it just brings us right back. You never forget certain scents. I noticed that too recently when I've been traveling. In New York, there's certain smells that are only in New York. And you forget about it until you're right back in that environment, in that space. It's so powerful. I was in Wisconsin yesterday. Just out by the pond under some oak trees, and the air is so fresh. I can smell the difference in the air between Chicago and Wisconsin. That's how vivid, that's how aware you can be of all these little details and nuances. Paris, terrible air quality. Coming back to Chicago, it was so fresh. But it makes sense. Everything is so condensed there. Everything is so, Chicago, wide open streets. Everything is wide. Everything is kind of new in America. Our sense of smell. Be grateful for our sense of smell. There's this one smell I'll never forget in my life. Hanoi, Vietnam. This intoxication of fresh street food, exhaust from motorbikes, and the jungle, rainforest. These three just I've never smelled that before in my life, and I'll never forget it. So powerful. Just our sense of smell and its attachment to our memories. This next question. What are you most curious about in the field of natural history? Like in nature and the history of planet Earth, and civilizations, people. What are you most curious about? That can go in so many directions. You know, I'm here today. What am I going to learn today? Before we recorded, I went through the Evolving Planet exhibit. It's my favorite one. It's with all the dinosaurs and fossils. I go to the same window each time, and it overlooks the skyline of the city. Every single visit, I've gone to that window and looked out. And I just think about life. You know, there's all this activity and human progress on the outside, and then I just turn, and there's a bunch of fossils, all my dead friends. Make you think about your mortality. And that's what I mean with insignificance, right? And then in that exhibit, they have a timeline of human history, or not human history, Earth's history, 4.5 billion years, and humans on the timeline are just like this. We're just gonna show up right here, this little blip at the end. And we put so much I don't want to say pressure, significance, I guess, on our lives and everything we're doing, and you know, but we just kind of showed up lately, and we're just like a small speck in the history of the universe. But I'm going through that exhibit, Evolving Planet, and come to the mammals, the mammal fossils. And part of this exhibit, they have fossils from the La Brea tar pits. And I just had this moment of gratitude, because the last time I'd been to the Field Museum, I hadn't been to La Brea. I hadn't gone to Los Angeles and gone to the La Brea Tar Pits Museum. And it was just a cool moment, because that's been on my paleontology bucket list for quite a while. The La Brea Tar Pits, the best fossil site for Ice Age mammals in the world. It was just cool. I was proud. I was proud of that moment. I've been there. I've gone there. That was pretty energizing. La Brea Tar Pits, they had this wall of dire wolf skulls. There's a bunch of them. In the display said that they found 4,000 dire wolves in the tar pit. LA is it's like on an oil field, right? So you have this area where the oil would come up through the ground, and mammals, you know, wouldn't really see it. So while they're grazing and feeding, they would get stuck. And then they start yelling and whatever. So then the predators are like, oh, there's some stuff over there. So then they go over there, and then they get stuck. So it's just this massive fossil site of all these Ice Age mammals. But the display, the plaque said that there are 4,000 dire wolves. And then I talked to someone else who was working there, and they said it's up to 16,000 now. They found 16,000 dire wolves, and they're not even done discovering. But yeah, so that was a cool moment here at the Field Museum. What's a proud moment you've had recently? So recently, what's the moment that brought you the most pride and gratitude in your own effort? You know, if you can't think of one right now, think of something coming up that you anticipate you'll have that feeling because of the effort you're putting in. You know, so what is that moment going to be like? You're just grateful for your own effort that you put towards, and you're proud of that, proud of your action. One of my favorite things to do at the Field Museum is observe the shoes people are wearing. And this is not disconnected from the Field Museum. There used to be a display, I wouldn't say it's an exhibit. Before they renovated, their most recent renovation, they used to have this display of shoes from around the world. And so these shoes were just so diverse and so different looking. And they even had a pair of Michael Jordan's NBA Finals shoes that he wore when they won in 1998. And that put in my mind like, oh, the shoes tell a story, a human story, our story. And this has always been a great place to just observe the shoes that people are wearing. You get boots, sneakers, flat-soled ones, sandals, kid shoes that light up, dress shoes. Like it's so different, and I appreciate that because it signifies how natural history and science and our human story appeal to everyone. This is about us. You know, it's small stuff like that make a difference. That always stuck in my mind. Because my line of sight, my vision just goes straight to those Jordan shoes. With other people, talk about, you know, cities, impressions of cities, what people know about it culturally. And so with Chicago, we've determined that people externally, when they think of Chicago, they think of Michael Jordan, architecture, and crime. Unfortunately, crime, the last one. Al Capone, I'd put Al Capone in there too. Jordan and Al Capone, architecture and crime. I guess Al Capone would go with crime. But that's what people know about Chicago. It's like these simplified, very, very big things, right? Jordan is so synonymous with Chicago. So where you live, what would you say are the three biggest things that people know about that place? Whether it's a city, a region, what do people know about that? Maybe even state. We live all over, right? But it's like impressions. Impression is like what comes in your mind first? What do you see first, right? Very quick kind of things. Jordan, architecture, and crime. Chicago. Now, for this question, you have to go outside yourself. You have to kind of remove yourself from yourself and think more broadly about where you live. What are the characteristics? What is the history? What are some big events that have happened here that have shaped the culture? I'll never forget this moment we had, going back to our experience in our trip in Vietnam. We're at this restaurant. The owner comes up to us and he's like, "Where are you guys from?" We say, "Chicago." And he goes, "Best grocery store." I was like, "What?" We were like, "What?" It's like Mariano's, best grocery store in the world. I was like, wow. That was surprising. When you thought of Chicago, you thought of a grocery store. Grocery stores are really interesting. There's just like so much variance. I wouldn't say much. There's variance because you have all the way from a convenience store to a grocery department within a huge retail chain like a Walmart or a Target, something like that. And you got your Trader Joe's, and then in this case, Mariano's, Jewel-Osco. Just in Florida, they got Publix and Whole Foods, and then just like these little markets. My grandpa owned a grocery store. Dick's Shop Right. From like the 50s to the 90s. Yeah. Everybody needs to eat. So it's interesting, you have that concept, right? Everybody has to eat. Needs energy to sustain the human body with calories. And so food is the common denominator, but then it's like, how much variety of food? What are the other things to draw people in? Oh, look, we have a piano and someone playing it and a bar within it. Oh, no, we also have a Starbucks here and a coffee shop, gelato here while you shop. Like there's all these little things, right? You know, this is local, this is fresh. This is, ethically sourced stuff. There's so much variance in just that very basic, simple fact, in that humans need to eat. So it's a very like margin heavy, and you have Aldi's. Man, Trader Joe's in Miami. I've never seen so many attractive people in one grocery store in my life. Wow. Miami, way to go. Trader Joe's. I haven't spent much time in grocery stores. In other cities, countries. Going off on a tangent here. What's your grocery store like? What features does it have? And why? Why do you prefer those features? Why do you shop there instead of another grocery store? Right? Because you have to get food from somewhere. Unless you grow it. And then I don't think there's too many people watching this that are growing and producing their own food entirely. So where do you shop for your food? And why do you prefer that? Yeah, there's so many different reasons. Probably one of the biggest factors is proximity, right? How close is it to where you live? It's probably the biggest factor, I would say. I don't know. Our last question for this guided reflection session is, what is one thing we can do to live healthier? What's one thing we can do to just be a little healthier? You know, a lot of times we're talking about completely transforming our diet and our exercise and how we approach health. Why don't we just start here, right? What's one thing we can do to be healthier, to live healthier, so that we can feel good? We can feel good, we can have more energy, we can be kinder to other people. What's one thing we can do to be healthier? It could be diet, could be exercise. Grandma yesterday, she's 93, she shows me the exercises she does. She was like, yeah, talking to doctors, and he said, can you lift your arms out? She's like, yeah. She's moving her arms. Pretty good for a 93-year-old. Movement, keep the body moving. It's important. You know what's not moving? Dinosaur fossils. They're dead. Things that are dead don't move. Things that are alive move, right? So we want to reflect that fact. Let's move more. This has been really enjoyable. Thanks for being here. I'm so energized to have it recorded here again. I've recorded here, 4 or 5 times. Different things. It's fun. I love the Field Museum. And, find somewhere where you love too. And just go back there. You don't have to go there all the time, but just, it's like just check in with yourself in these places. That's what I kind of use the Field Museum for. Especially if I'm ever feeling down on a day, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the Field Museum. It's gonna remind me to get out of my head, recenter myself, be grateful, remember that we're gonna die. So start living today. So live today. Make your actions count. Yeah, wonderful place. And a place like this, we learn more about nature. We learn more about our relationship to nature and our connection with nature and the cause and effect of what we do and the effects we have on nature. How that causes other effects on us. It's interesting, it's important, and really valuable. So, thanks for taking this time out of your day. Just asking basic questions and answering them in regard to your own life. So that you can think clearer and take more precise actions to improve your life, which then, as we're talking about interconnectedness, will impact those around us. And that's when really special things are happening. So thank you again for being here. This has been our weekly guided reflection session.